Hey everyone, it's Hugo from Product Rise, and in this video I want to explain everything that goes on behind the scenes of our product category mapper engine. This has been launched about a month ago, this public tool where you can enter a product title and we will find the best matching product categories from Google's lists of almost 6,000 product categories. So in this case, this yoga mat, we find that these product categories are most closely aligned with that product title. And I've written a blog post about it, going over how it works a bit. But as you may know, this entire Google taxonomy file, including all the product categories, is pretty big. It includes 5,595 product categories. If you want to match your product titles to the best product categories, you're not going to do that manually. That's going to be a big pain in the ass. You're going to need a smart system to do that. What system does best in this sense? The methodology here is really interesting. You cannot simply match words that belong to a product category hoping that they match with your product title, because product titles are using different words. This one, for example, the one right here, yoga mat. Well, there is yoga mat in there, which I believe is, it is a dedicated product category, but there's also a bunch of other words, and there's noise in product titles, there's overlap, and so using exact words to match with product categories is not going to provide good results. And so what we do here on this page is we map out every single product category in a network. So every one of the 5,000 plus product category is a single dot on this network, and they are colored by their top level category. And so you can see here that this yoga mat category belongs to the sporting goods top level category. If I select sporting goods here, it contains 801 product categories and they are mapped on the network. There's a bit of grouping going on because product categories inside a top level category share roughly the same meaning. You can see that the colors are mostly grouped, but it's not perfect because this model is super complex. It is multi-dimensional and we plot it on 2 dimensions, which is an oversimplification. Anyway, so if I throw in a bunch of product titles here, let's say leather guitar strap, then we will visualize that product title inside this network and we'll find the closest matching product category, which in this case is guitar straps, which is fairly accurate. Now, there's a small nuance here that I have to explain a bit about. The closest distance in the network doesn't always show on the 2D visualization of that network. There are multiple points here, like this one, that is actually closer to the location of the product title. But that's not the right way to look at it. This 2D visualization is an oversimplification. It's a shadow of the entire multi-dimensional network behind the scenes here. So closest distance, it is true that guitar straps is most closely related to this product title that I just entered here, but the actual distance on the graph doesn't really show that. But this method allows many inputs here. If I do leather strap for guitars, then the output will be the same, even though the words don't find their way into a product category in that exact sequence. The model knows the meaning behind this product title and it will still be able to find the correct corresponding product category. This also applies for typos. So if I just do a strap misspelled with double B, then it still finds the right product category. And that's the elegance of this method. It is able to accept lots of different inputs and still be able to find the correct product category. And so this page I published about a month ago is publicly available to showcase the technology that goes on behind matching product titles with product categories. Now, yesterday I announced that this was now included inside Product Rise's product feed audits. Whenever you add a product feed, whether that's manually, whether that's through a existing product feed URL, or whether that's directly from Google Merchant Center integration, we will check your existing product categories and see if A, they exist at all, and B, whether they are the correct ones. For every product title that is inside your product feed, we will throw it in our network. We will map out where it belongs in this network of product categories, and we will find the top 10 most closely aligned product categories. If your existing product category does not appear in what we believe is the top 10 most closely matching product categories, then we will flag your product and be like, hey, this is something where we think that there's a better product category out there for you. And in that case, you now have the ability to check what products those are, and you can improve it, because product categories, they do matter. They're something that you can control, that you can improve today, and there's no reason why you shouldn't, really. But yeah, if you look at this entire list of product categories, you don't want to do this manually. You don't want to do this by building some overly complicated spreadsheet. You want to have a good method for this. And so what I shared yesterday was how we now include this into our product feed audits. And now, as of today, you can also use this to start your supplemental feed generations. Our supplemental feeds feature allows you to take your existing product feed and add data on top of it without having to change the main thing. This is something that Merchant Center really encourages, actually, is to optimize product data, to start experimenting without having to change the underlying main product feed. And so in this case, what I've done here is I've taken a test store. This is actually a default Shopify website that they have on their examples page. So I took the liberty to crawl them. I crawled 3 product pages from that website, and I created this little product feed for it, just to showcase what supplemental feeds do. In this case, there is a product title, there is a description, there's a product link, there's an image link, the basics. Basically, the bare necessities are in this product feed. You can add this to Merchant Center and it will accept the products. Whether or not they will rank, that is up to you, basically, because this product feed is desperately under-optimized. It contains bad information. The product titles especially are really bad. It's 2 words: coffee mug, yoga mat, and folding stool. You're not going to rank for good keywords using those titles. That's what supplemental feeds are for. You can generate better data for your product feed using this feature. So here are the 3 products that I've added to product price, and as you can see, I've already created one supplemental feed item for each of these products, which is the title. The original title was coffee mug, and I created a better title for that. This is just a one-shot generation with product price, just the default settings, and it creates a rich product title that contains better keywords, better attributes, and gives Google more information about the product so it can rank better for your keywords. Now, this is the title that I added, and Product Price creates a live supplemental feed URL that you can visit, that you can copy and paste and push straight to Merchant Center. And I just want to compare this to the main feed. So this will always remain the main feed. No changes have to be made here. This will still contain the old product titles, right? The supplemental feed will match your products using the ID. So this product has this ID, it will match with this one. See? The old title will be overruled by the new title that we just generated using AI, using the product price supplemental feed generation feature. These titles are pretty good, but what I want to show you in this video is how we can create better product categories for these products, because this main feed doesn't include product categories, which is an issue. And so our product audit flagged it. There's a missing category filter. Now, this is just redundant because all the test products in my feed do have this issue, so filtering here doesn't really matter. But if you've got thousands of products and only a few of them are missing product categories, you can filter those products and generate better categories just for those products and leave the rest alone, basically. So what we do here is we selected all these 3 products. What we're going to do is generate a supplemental feed just for these product categories. And this is pretty technical, what happens now. Basically, what happens here is explained in this pop-up, but I will just explain it right here. Once you click generate, we will take the product title from your product feed. If there is a supplemental feed title like we have right here, then we will take that one. If there's no supplemental feed title, then we will take the default one. We try to get the best information from the data that's there. So in this case, this is the supplemental feed title of the product. We take that, so I'm just going to copy that, and we throw it inside our product category mapper. This happens behind the scenes. You're not going to see this. You can verify this using this public URL where you can play around with it. But this product title, the deny header doesn't wonder dessert clay folding stool, blah, 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 it contains a lot of words that don't really matter for the product category. It just contains this part, folding stool. And that's all the model needs to really get a good score on, hey, the best matching product category is indeed furniture, chairs, folding chairs, and stools. This is a good match in this case. Sometimes though, it's going to struggle a bit more. Let's see with this yoga mat one. If I enter this one right now, let's see what happens. Yeah, so this is a good example actually. So since this product title also includes a lot of noise, a lot of fluff basically, you can see that the model thinks that yoga mat, bags and straps is the best matching category, but it's a really close call. The difference in distance is really low. The second category that the model thinks is good is actually the best one. It's the one that we should pick if we want to create supplemental feed data. And so just going by this engine alone wouldn't really be accurate, because this is just a large language model which doesn't have intelligence in a sense. This just places your product title in the network and it starts to draw lines. This is just one side of the equation, whereas the other side of the equation is explained and included in the supplemental feeds feature. So what this does is we take your product titles, we throw it inside this model, we retrieve the top 10 of the product categories that are most closely aligned to the product title, and from there we push that to an AI model. And we let that AI model decide which is the best category. Regardless of what's number one, what's number two, or what's number three, the AI model will get to decide what the best product category is. If I generate a sample here and wait around for a bit, we will see that the AI model will sometimes pick not the number one spot, but the number two spot. In this case, the current category for folding stool is empty. It has found that folding chairs and stools is the best match. This makes sense because this is already the number one match the product mapper tool gave. So basically the AI agreed with it and it pushed the number one ranking spot forward. In this case, for the yoga mat, you can see the same product title here. The number one is bags and straps, and number two is the yoga and Pilates mats, which is the correct one. And our AI system that is utilized in this supplemental feed generation feature actually used its intelligence to pick number two above number one, which is the right call in this case. If I'm happy with the sample, I can push this and send out this job for all my products. In this case, there's only 3 selected products, but just imagine if you have hundreds of products, you're going to want to use this and you don't want to do this by hand. So if I generate this for all products, then behind the scenes for all selected products, the supplemental feed generation feature will use this engine to get the top 10 most closely aligned product categories for that product title, and from there an AI will decide which out of those top 10 is the best one, and that will be boosted inside your supplemental feed, in this case here. Let's see how long it takes. It's processing, it's completed. Let me refresh this screen, and now I want to show the supplemental feed. Let's get this a hard refresh. And now we see that in fact there is a supplemental Google product category attribute here, which has the numeric value for that product category according to Google's own taxonomy file. So let's just double check this. It's always good to double check. This one for the, let's see, what is this? The ceramic coffee mug is product category 2169. Let me search and find that, and it's mugs, and in this case that's spot on. One more, the example of the yoga mat, it's given it product category 3641. Let's look that up as well. 3641, and we can see that's not the right one. And we can see it's picked the right product category, and it didn't go with the first recommended one that the mapper software gave, but AI decided that the number 2 spot was better matching the product title. And so that's a great result. And so what you can do now is you can push this supplemental feed in Google Merchant Center on top of the main feed. You don't have to change anything here. You can just overrule it with the supplemental feed, and you will have optimized product data. Now this feature is live as of today. I'm going to record a simpler video for it that's a bit more streamlined. But yeah, this is something that I'm really happy with. I would love to hear how you go with it. All right, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.